Hi, this is my video of the Akai MPC 4000. I just want to show you a basic video that explains sequencing and tracks and their relativity to one another, because before I purchased this I found a bunch of videos, but they were sort of disjointed and they weren't, succinct. So for anybody who's never used an MPC 4000, this is the video you want to see. Hopefully I'll keep it under 15 minutes. Alright, first thing you need to know, you're going to be using the window button a lot. It's a little orange button on the panel. Any function that you're on, if you press a window, like the timing correct here, as you see, it shows you what it fully expands the functionality of that item. So I'm in metronome now, press window, shows you everything it can do. So now, tracks. You have 128 tracks. Okay? These tracks are similar to tracks on a multi-track recorder. It's just you'd put an individual sound on any track. You can double up if you want, but it's just neater and tidier in the end when you want to do editing if you just separate them all out and you have 128. 128 tracks within any one sequence. You also have 128 sequences. I will show you how all of this comes together and so that it makes sense to you. For right now, let's fix the timing. I'm pressing shift left arrow, putting this at 152. We go down, we're on track 1, Midi out 1. You have output A, B, C, and D. And then there's also the internal bus towards the, if you have samples in here, and you have two different ways to get to the internal sampler. Internal A and B. Right now I have my Roland Sonic cell connected to A. So these are the sounds which we could play with. Okay, so track 1, let's put the kick drum. So we just want the kick. Now, press record, play. First mistake, I forgot to change the bars. I want to do 4 bars. Press do it. Alright. So now the great thing is, so I have that in there, right? I have 2 bars worth, I guess. But just so I can show you the erase feature, go back to the beginning, press overdub and play, and there's an erase button. Simply press the erase button and then I hold down the pad that corresponds to that sound, and it erases it. This is one form of erase. Now there's actually an even easier one. If you just want to change the last thing you did, there's a light will come up beside the undo sequence button, and all you have to do is press that and it would have erased everything. It's a great button, very fast and efficient. Okay, so once again, let's so we're at 4 bars and record, play. Press undo sequence and it's gone. If I go back to the beginning, press play, there's nothing. Alright, for some reason my timing's a little off right now, so record, play. Alright, that's fine. Go to track, press window, we want to name it kick. All I did was turn the dial, and then it assumes that you want to change the wording, so let's just call it K. Pressing Shift Backspace to get rid of it, and we'll call it K1. Keep it simple. Press Enter, close. So that's track 1. Track 2, same thing. Go down to output A, channel. We want to go to 10. We're going to add the snare. So I press record, play. Perfect. Sounds good. Snare. Track 3. Well, let's name it again. Window. Turn the dial. Put an S. Get rid of all that. Alright. Enter. Close. So track 3 now. We want to add a hi-hat. Back to 10. Alright. So, record, play. Alright, so that's it. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that we didn't like how I just played that in, right? And we want to change it, or we want it to go with the timing. What we do then is, well, for one, I'm just going to erase it. Oh, and let me just show you another way to erase. Press Step Edit so that I can see the Midi sequence, the Midi events. Look at all the notes. We just want to change track 10. And that, right, so there was 1 which was a snare, 1 which was a kick, 2 which was a snare, 3 which was the hi-hat. So now we just want to get rid of that. I could simply choose whichever one I wanted to, which MIDI event, and erase them. So right now I'm just going to click delete, 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 delete. This is obviously the long way, but I just want to show you how you can go in there and micro edit. Okay, so back to the main screen. Now if I press play, you just hear that. Okay, so I'm going to show you the timing. Now, say I go up here to, actually didn't mean to time it to even put them in like this, but in any case, let's say we use this 16th and we mess with the swing a little bit. Swing percentage. Now, I'm going to press record, play that same sound. I'm just going to hold it down, but I'm going to press note repeat. So record, play, note repeat, and the moment I press this hi-hat sound, it's just going to rattle it off. And they put it in there at a swing rate of 59. If you put it up to 75, it's going to be kind of really slow, but it's kind of cool. So anyway, play it. Alright, so this is pretty much the basis of drum and bass, right? So now we want to mess with the timing, right? Because we need it faster. So shift and backspace again. I'm going to put it up to 180, and now it'll sound like drum and bass. Perfect. So now let me just put in a bass sound while we're here. So I'm going to go down to track 4 and we're going to play a bass. Bass sounds are on part 2. Want it a little deeper. Alright, so once again, record, play. Actually, this timing. I'm going to use the old MPC 60 timing. These are all the different timing references you have. And that's the old one from the MPC 60. And then you have the newer one. This is no timing at all. So this is no timing, but at a different resolution of no timing. But anyway, record. Well, let me see. How do I want to play it? All right, so record, play. All right, so go back to the beginning. Let's listen to it. All right, cool. So that's fine. Let's just name it to keep it clean. Turn the dial. Let's call it B for bass. Shift, backspace, get rid of all that. Enter, close. Perfect. Now we're gonna, so that's 3 different sounds, 4 different sounds in sequence 1. So we go to sequence 2. Well, first we have to copy it, sorry. I hit window, copy, and it automatically tells you sequence 2, yes. Boom. So now when I play this one, see there's sequence 1, there's sequence 2. I press play. So we're in sequence 2. I want to get rid of those bass sounds. And I'm going to just do the step edit way. Go down to here. 2. Those are all the bass sounds. Press delete. Get rid of all of them. I didn't have to do this if I didn't play it off of the MPC. I played it off of another unit attached to it, and I don't want to search for where that sound was. So now it's main. We're back. When I play it, no bass. So now we're going to do a variation of that on that same bass theme. So record, play. Cool. Now let's just do one more variation for good measure. Go to sequence 3. Sequence 2. Press window. And change the name. Copy to sequence 3. We were in sequence 2. We're copying to sequence 3. Here's sequence 3. It's going to be the same thing, right? This time I'm going to leave that bass part the same, but I'll change one of the notes in the snare. We'll change the snare. Go to 10, Midi channel 10 that is. Then when we go up to track 2, there is the snare, and we're going to take out every second snare. So I'm going to hit delete. Let's see how it sounds. Back to main. So we have 3 sequences and each sequence has 4 tracks inside of it. Now, here's where this machine shines. We now are going to convert these sequences into a song. So if I press song, here I can add the different sequences. So I'm going to put sequence 1. I'm going to start with sequence 1. No, let's start with sequence 2. Then go to sequence 1. Sequence 1 will repeat itself. then sequence 3, then back to sequence 2, and we'll just let sequence 2 repeat itself, and that's it. Okay? So let's listen to how it sounds. Go back to the beginning of it. Perfect, you get it. Let me just get rid of this one because we just don't want to take up too much time. And I'll get rid of this repetition one here too. Alright, so that's it. Now here's where we get funky. Convert to sequence. I press that. Now we're going to convert this song into sequence 4. Press do it. And then when I go back to the main screen, we have sequence 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is the song. Why is this important? Because now I can play with track mutes. Press the track mute button and it shows you all the different, the reason why it wasn't before is I was on channel C. There's A, B, C, D, all the way going to F. We're on A. So it's showing you kick, snare, track 3, and B. And I can mute these. So now watch what happens as they are all going to play together. It's now at 16 bars because they're all put together. So I press track mute, I press play. Okay, let's just make sure we're at the beginning. That's why this machine is killer. Killer. Now, that's all I really wanted to show you. I just wanted to keep it that simple. And bonus, let me just explain something to you about the Roland MC 909, which I had a love affair with for a little while, but it has one big problem, and that's all that sequencing we just did, we have 16 tracks on it. This comes with sounds in it, and you can put samples in it, which is great. But there's one fatal flaw. When you want to shut off or turn on, like a different device, an external device. So right now, the sounds on this line here, laser points, you can have it on external or internal or both. It will always play both. You can't shut off the external, or you can't shut off the internal. It's like there's some weird problem with it. When they created the OS for it, they never fixed that. Where it's like a version 2.09, they stopped making it, they stopped making the OS, and they never fixed that. So you have no way of controlling external MIDI gear, which is whack. I mean, you can control the external MIDI gear, but you just can't do these kind of like shut-offs and cut-ons and stuff like that. So having the two of them together is phenomenal, but this one is definitely the brains of the operation. MPC 4000. Thank you very much.